it's a partnership based upon mutual sharing and mutual benefits, and it is one whereby connections are made, connections between the partners that are involved in the partnership. And of course, that partnership for us is a partnership with Arkansas, with East Bolivia.
To describe its work, I would say, that Partners builds these important relationships, or gives us the opportunity to build these important relationships across borders with other professionals so that we can kind of share in each other's expertise.
I hope people understand that it's mutually benefiting to both countries.
Yes.
That our mission is to kind of help build understanding through the countries, and to solve problems and really to learn from each other. And that the Partners of the America, it's very much beneficial to both countries.
It is an organization for people. It's a people-to-people organization. We work both ways. We go down, they come up. And it's been a very fruitful sort of thing, I think, over the years, because it's opened us up here in Arkansas to another culture and another way that people do things.
I see it as a group of farmers and lawyers and people who do social justice and artists working with their partners. And our Arkansas's partner is East Bolivia, and every state has a partner in South America or the Caribbean. And a partnership means that we share with them and they share with us. It's not charity, it's not us going down there being the big brother, it's the back and forth.
So it is a matter of sharing expertise and interests in a variety of areas. Specifically for us, more so has it been in health, in agriculture, in culture, and in education. We've had other things, but those are the ones that have been more enduring, shall we say, over the years.
For me, it was very important. I spent some time in Santa Cruz, Bolivia, working with professionals in the area of autism spectrum disorders. I think when I first went down, I really thought of it as service, that I was going down there to serve and to help bring my knowledge and expertise regarding autism to the professionals in Bolivia. And indeed I did do that, but I was able to bring back with me a greater understanding of the impact that culture plays upon my own interventions and my own work, that that I had to have a great understanding of the context of the culture, the schools, and the family, and so that I could help adjust my teaching to meet their needs. That it just wasn't about what I was doing, but it was about that culture and that family that was so important for the success of the partnership. And I was able to bring that learning back with me, and it makes me think about the work that I do every day with families here in Northwest Arkansas.
I run a dairy farm for 33 years, and I got to go down and work with dairymen in Santa Cruz, Bolivia, and find out where they needed help and try to work with them to increase their income, other farmers. When they found out that I was a dairy farmer just like they were real open to us, and we enjoyed visiting with them, and so yeah, they received us real well.
So I am the Director of Social Work Services for Hope Cancer Resources in Springdale, Arkansas. I traveled to Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic, and the specific purpose of my visit, or goal of my visit, was not only to immerse myself in that culture, but also to learn more in my shadowing of a healthcare psychologist in a children's oncology clinic there. So my purpose was to learn more about how my own profession looks in that other culture, and how they work with their clients, and what their organization, what services and programs their organization provides, and how can we share expertise amongst, between one another.
In terms of art and culture and art therapy, they don't know much about art therapy down there, so it was something that I could go and share with them.
I was the mentor for a youth ambassador group to Ecuador in 2011. We had a student from Fayetteville and 9 other students from across the country and 2 mentors. Well, I have a Spanish degree, and I'd been teaching bilingual education or ESL for 15, 20 years. I never had the opportunity to go out of the country on a long trip just across the border. And it was just a wonderful opportunity for me to get to go and immerse myself in the culture and the language that I majored in, and to get to help the kids and see them grow and experience all these wonderful things. And then to come back and be able to share that with my colleagues and understand my students a little better, since 99% are Spanish speakers that I teach, and just to get their perspective and where they may have come from, similar situations.
It was an opportunity for us to kind of jumpstart the interest we had in developing an excitement among our students to go someplace else, because it was an opportunity for them to go someplace else. It's always seemed to me to be very hard. The exchanges tend to be one way. We have many more students from Germany coming here than we have our students going to Germany, and we have students now as we sit here all over the world studying on summer study abroad. Some of them are studying full year-longs. So the more we can do to encourage that, and part of that encouragement is getting our students to meet people from other countries and see what they've got to offer. We've gotten great students from Bolivia, and you can surprise yourself by going down to Santa Cruz and you're liable to hear somebody call the hogs.
That's right. That's right.
Education is not viewed just from elementary and secondary education or higher education, but it expands out and covers things of this nature, of autism. It covers the journalism area. It has also had impact through environmental education. We've had a wonderful relationship there, where a young man who came and was introduced to all of the things that we have in our area that reflect the idea of sustainability and environmental issues. We had him up at Ozark Natural Science Center. He had developed a friendship with the director and also with some of the staff. And as a result, one of the staff members went down to help that young man with the implementation of his Earth Keepers program. And then, since then, he is also now seeking to have someone come up here for further training at the Ozark Natural Science Center. So that's just an example of the way that we have increased and expanded what we view ordinarily as education, just relegated to the elementary and high school or higher education as it relates to the university.
We've had people representing music, art, literature, in all of those fields, which are pretty widespread. And we've had some good folks from the university, a lot from the English department and the music department as well. And foreign languages, yes indeed. So with all of those interests, that really opened up things as well. Culture, as I said, has been one of the more important programs of partners.
I think one of the reasons why the partnership worked so well, and works so well here in Northwest Arkansas, is that our leaders here really listen to what our partners want and need. And I think Margaret did a really good job of listening to the partners in Santa Cruz and saying, kind of, this is what we need, and then was able to to kind of find me and went down there. You know, I would not have gone had it not been for Partners of even had this opportunity to do this. So one, I want to make sure people understand that it really is our leadership that brings these opportunities in the way that they listen. I would love to go back now that I have a greater understanding of the culture and what some of those needs are, and be able to bring even more resources to them, and be able to kind of design kind of how I want to teach and reach the people of Santa Cruz. I also would love to have somebody come and study with me. Here at the University of Arkansas, we have an autism program. We're serving children with autism. We have some model programs across the state in our public school system. And I think it would be very beneficial for them to come here as well. Now that they've received some of the information and training from not only myself, but other partners across the United States, but to be able to come here and learn more about how to implement that. I still communicate with many of the people in Santa Cruz. Social media has been wonderful. So we're able to continue to communicate whenever I find resources that are in Spanish. I, through social media, can hook them up with those resources. So I think it's the long-term relationships that I would like to see continued.
We need to be able to increase our membership, and we need to get more young people involved in the organization. We also need to have more partnerships with groups. I mentioned Ozark Natural Science Center. That's just one of the groups that we work with, but we have others, and we want to increase that pool, but we also need to have more funding coming from corporations. We have a membership that is categorized as organizations or corporations, and we need to be able to expand those, particularly in as much as the economy has not been that great in recent years, and so much of the funding that we had been getting from the government had to be cut, and so many of the programs that we had, for example, one of our outstanding programs over the years has been in the area of agriculture. And yet we don't have that farmer-to-farmer program ongoing, primarily because of the reduction in funding. And so, whereas once we relied primarily upon getting all of our funds from the international office, we now have to look at what can we do locally.
The farmer-to-farmer program went away, which I was involved with. That went away, and I think, I don't know exactly how it's structured right now, but we need that back.
Why do we need it back?
We need it back to help farmers to go there, like me and other farmers that would have, different expertise in different fields, and other species besides just dairy farmers,
We can't do but so much. We are limited in number, and we are limited in resources, so we have to delay certain kinds of things. But if we had more funds, more individuals in our group, we would be able to serve it and help more, and I think that would be great.
We didn't talk about a world without borders back when this program started. We didn't have quite the same notion of multinational companies and the world that was shrinking with the technology and the social media and all of those kinds of things. So in some sense, I think our partner faculty were really far-sighted to be able to see what was going on in the world and what was happening. And the more that we can make our students know that they're first and foremost Arkansans, but next they're really citizens of the world, and they have to be part of that, and they have to take part in it, and it takes some effort. And we've got, as I said earlier, we've got, I don't know how many, I would guess thousands of students right now as we speak that are off studying in other parts of the world, and that wasn't like that in 1995.
I think that it's very important. I think with the, increased globalization, happening in our world, we're only going to see more of a need to collaborate. And so for partners to provide, such a unique opportunity to a professional to break away from this day-to-day small world that we live in, and I can speak to Northwest Arkansas, to get out and for them to provide that opportunity for you to be fully immersed in another culture and to learn from the people, with whom you come into contact. I think that, like I said, it's just invaluable. And I would hope that fellow colleagues of mine would have the same opportunity to go and have that experience.